Our tray looks fantastic, and we did it with a handheld router. We did such a good job, didn't we? Hey you guys, today I'm going to share with you how to make this kind of valet trays. Those are very easy to make, and you can make them even if you do not have a CNC. I made this one with a handheld router. I made two of them. I made this one over here that we will make together today. And I also made the larger one here. And I'm going to show you actually how to design these templates. It's really easy to design it. We'll design this one in this video, and then we will actually make this one. So without any further ado, let's get right into it and show you how we do it. Now the first thing we need to do is choose our plank of wood. So I prepared 3 planks in here. Let me show you. So I have 1, 2, 3 planks. This is just a normal glue up like you will make a cutting board. For this one, I've used my zigzag pattern, which is now available on my Etsy store and my website. So I basically traced this template onto a piece of wood, then cut it at the bandsaw, attach the template to the board and do a flash trim bit. And then I did the same for the other piece, and then they just glue together. They fit perfectly. And then the same thing I did with this kind of pattern. For that I use this template, and I have it in 3 different shapes. I have the wave, this box stitch I call it, and then the zigzag. And like I said, you can purchase those if you want to make those kind of designs. So this is my blanks of wood. Now we have to choose a pattern. The next thing we will need is our template, and I have lots of template. I've been having so much fun playing on my computer designing these templates, and these templates are also available on my website if you are interested, or my Etsy store. So we'll see which blank will look best with which design. I could do that with the circle one. I could do this one with here. This is wasting a lot of material because this blank is bigger. I could use this one, but I already made a tray with this template, so I don't really want to use the same one. This one is a pretty small one. I might use that one for that blank. And I think I'm going to use this one because I like how in the circle I can put one of those points, something like that. I think that will make it pretty interesting. So let's go with this blank of wood, this template. Now, if you do want to design your own template, I'm going to show you right now how easy it is to do so. And if you're not interested in designing your own templates, well, then you can just skip to the time code I will put on the screen, and that will take you straight to continuing the video with building the tray. But if you want to build your own, this is Inkscape, you can see over here. And this is a free program. You can just download it from the App Store, and we'll be using this rectangle tool over here, and we'll just draw a rectangle. Now we decide how big we want our tray. So then I'll go here to this arrow and select this, and once our shape is selected, we'll put in the size that we want in here. So let's say we want to make a 10-inch by 8-inch size. So we're going to put in 10-inch and 8-inch, click enter, and there's our size, exterior size of our tray. Oops. Then we need to put another rectangle in the middle, and that will determine how wide our walls are on our tray. So I want to do it 3/4 inch, so 3/4 inch on one side with 3/4 inch on the other. That makes 1.5. So we need to make another rectangle that is 1.5 inches smaller than this dimension. So to do that, I will first just right click with my mouse and say duplicate this rectangle. And then this duplicate one, we will make it smaller. So we're gonna be 8.5 inches, 8.5. And then here, instead of 8, we will have 6.5. And there you go, we have 2 rectangles. Now we're gonna select them all by dragging the mouse over them, and we will go into align and distribution, which is over here, and we'll align them into the middle like that. The next thing we need to do, we want to make a divider over here, so we have 2 rectangles within our tray. So I'll go back to the rectangle tool and just make a line here. And the length, I just want it to be longer than my tray, but the width, I wanted to make sure that is a 1/2 inch. I don't need 3/4 inch in the inside of my tray. That way I have more room for the pockets. So over here for the height, for the width, not the height, I'm sorry, I want to make sure it's 0.5. And I'm working in inches. As you see over here, inches. If yours is set in millimeter or pixels, you can change it into inches. I apologize, that's my phone. So now that we have all these rectangles, which is 3 of them, we can select them all by dragging over them and then go here to this shape building tool. Click on that, and then we can just select the parts that we want for our template. So just going like that, this is our tray. And then click this check mark over here, and there you go, we have our tray. Now the router bit, it's round, so we need to round over all these corners, otherwise the router can't fit in those sharp corners. So with all of them selected again, I want to go here into this tool and get the corner tool. And then over here, I'm going to be into millimeters because I know 1/4 inch is 6 millimeters. So I want to make sure that my rounded corner is more than 6 millimeters. That way, at least I can use a 1/4 inch router bit. So I'm just going to click on this and I'm going to go even bigger. I'm going to go to 13. That way a 1/2 inch bit can fit into those corners. And there you go. This is our shape. We can select it now and we can export it by going to File, Save As, and then you want to name it whatever you want to name it. You can save it as an SVG if you want to cut it on your laser, or you can save it as a JPEG if you want to cut it with your, let's say, scroll saw or some other tool. But that's how easy it is to make your templates. So now that we've decided we'll use this piece of wood with this template, I need to remove the paper backing from this acrylic template so then we can securely attach it to the wood. To attach the template, I'll be using a double-sided tape. So, really easy. I made the edges, the outside edges, purposely thicker so you can put double-sided tape. We need to secure this really, really well. We do not want this template to move. The first couple of templates I made the walls too thin. They were only a 1/2 inch, kind of like my inside walls. And it turns out that didn't work out so well. I couldn't secure it well enough. My template was shifting. So I had to go back to the computer and redesign it to make it work. There you go. We're committed. This is what we will have. Make sure it doesn't move, and it doesn't seem to. All right. Now I have a larger piece of plywood, and I will be securing this board to the piece of plywood. So let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to go here on the edge. So double-sided tape again. And I'm going to tape this to my board. Something like this. And this board, it's a lot larger, and this will allow me to put clamps and clamp this to my bench. That way nothing moves. The next step is to make our router more stable. And what I mean by that is if you use a small router like this that has a small plate, when you're using it on your pattern, you have no stability. You see, like it goes in, so you can't really keep the same depth of the router bit. So we need some bigger plate on our router to give us more stability. For that, I'll be using something like this, like a 12 by 12 acrylic plate. And what you do, you remove your screws into your router plate, remove the original plate, and then screw in something like this. And this, it will give us so much more stability as we can run the router all over the pattern, and our router is stable because it has this big base. So I am going to do that. Well, I already did that. This is the router I'll be using, and it already has the plate attached to it. If you don't want to purchase a plate, you can make your own. You just take your original plate from your router, trace where the screws are, so you know where to drill holes for your screws, countersink them, and then you can use a Forstner bit to create the hole where the router bit comes out. But they are available all over. Make sure you get the one that fits your router. So I already did that to my router. The next thing is to choose our router bit that we will start with. And I will start with just a 1/2 inch router bit. You can use a straight one, you can use a upcut spiral bit. And then what I will do is I will be, if I can get it, I bought this bushing set. I have like, I think 3 or 4 sets of this. And this bushing is going to help this just normal straight bit to ride along the pattern. So the way this one works, I wish I had 6 hands. So the way you install this bushing, it's a 2-part, you know, the one that has the hole, it comes with different size holes, and then the other part that it screws in to hold it secure. So the way the bushing works, you put the bushing with the hole onto your plate, and then the other piece it will screw in here to hold it securely. And now we have this ring that is going to ride along the pattern. And make sure you choose one that has a hole bigger than your router bit. This hole is too big. I'm going to go down and pick one that is just a little bit bigger than my router bit. And then our router bit will clean up the material inside, and this bushing is going to offset our cut a little bit away from the edge. And then we'll clean that edge with a different router bit in a little bit. It's going to make more sense when I actually do it. So for this 1/2 inch router bit, I'll probably go with a 5/8, and that looks like it will work really well. My router is all set up, and I actually ended up going with the 1 size larger bushing. This is a 3/4 inch, and I set up my router, let me show you. I set up my router so it only removes a tiny little bit of material at a time. So I am going to start removing material from the inside of my tray, and I am going to remove a little bit, stop, often remove the chips with my vacuum, and then I'm going to plunge a little bit deeper and remove more and more and more until I have almost the depth I need, but not all the way. And then we will change the router bit, and I'll show you what the next step is. So let's get and remove this material. You could take this to your drill press if you have, and use a Forstner bit and remove most of the material with a Forstner bit. It would be faster. But my drill press is pretty weak, so I'm just going to do it with the router. I am done removing most of the material. Let me see if I can show you here. And as you can see, we removed most of the material, but we have this lip here because we did have that bushing. So now we have to change our router bits. And what we'll be using, it's one of this ball and tray router bits. It has a bearing here, so this will ride on our template. And then this will flush trim around it, and then when we keep lowering it down, when it gets to the bottom of the tray, because this is rounded, it's going to give that round corners inside the bowl. And as you can see, it's very similar with a pattern bit. This is a pattern bit, and it's pretty much the same, except this one is straight at the top, so you get that sharp corner, where this one, it's rounded to make the bowl corner round. So I'm going to put this onto my router bit, and then we'll start removing the edges until we get to the bottom. Also, I should probably mention, I did remove the guide bushing from my plate over here, because now we have that ball bearing that will ride against the template. I removed all the material that I wanted to remove from the inside of the bowl. Do not remove the template because we still have to cut and flash trim the outside. So for now, I'm just going to remove the whole block of wood from my piece of plywood. And then we have to go cut the outside of the bowl. I will be cutting this on the bandsaw. But to make it easier for me to see where it is, my eyeballs are not so good, I'll use a permanent marker to trace my template, and that will be so much easier for me to see it when I am at the bandsaw. For the bandsaw, I'll be using this tiny Rikon. It's a benchtop bandsaw. I bought it on Amazon. It's less than $500. It works really, really great, so that's what I'll be using to cut this tray. I forgot to point the camera at what I was doing, but I took this to the router table and used a flash trim bit and just cleaned up the edges so they are the same as my template. So this is what our bowl looks so far. Now it's time to take off this template and sand it. We'll also put a, well, first we'll put a round over all around. So let's do that now. Now for the round over, I'll just do a very, very small round over. The best way to do round overs here, because you know we have that problem with tipping and I don't want to change the router bit on my router table. So I'll just use my small trim router. It's not the best thing for this. You do want to use router table for this and put the bowl upside down and run it through your round over bit. That's the best way to do it. I'll just use my hand trimmer and I think I can hold it steady enough to get a good round over. When you work inside, I forgot to mention this before, when you work with the router inside of a shape, you want to go clockwise. And then when you go on the outside of the shape, you want to go counterclockwise. So that's a quick router safety tip. Now it's time for sanding. For sanding, what you could be using is this drill bit attachment. They come in many sizes. That's a very, very tiny one. Here is a bigger one. And you can use this to sand inside of your bowl. So I'll be using a combination of that. But also I have this angle grinder. I think it's a carving tool. And this one has a sanding attachment, so I think I'm going to use this one. See how far can I get with this. And then maybe I'll use some of these smaller ones and get into these corners. So that's what I'll be doing for sanding. I'll also do some hand sanding. And I'll see you when it's all done. Our router tray is looking fantastic, and now it's only one thing left to do, and that is to choose a finish and put a finish on it. Since this is a valet tray, I think a very durable, strong finish would be appropriate. I'm gonna do some Rubio monocoat. I know Rubio monocoat, it is very durable. I have it on my hardwood floors. It is food safe, so if somebody chooses to put candies in this, they can. And that's what I'm gonna do. So let's do that. And there you go. That is our tray. I think it looks fantastic, don't you think? So pretty.